Hello and welcome to this full beginner's guide and tutorial for Google Calendar. In this video, I'm going to show you everything from setting up your first event to using some of the brand new Gemini AI scheduling features. If you find this video helpful, hit subscribe. I post a new tutorial every single day. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the interface and just getting started with Google Calendar. First and foremost, to get to Google Calendar, you just type in calendar.google.com in your browser, and it'll take you to your main Google Calendar. If you're not logged into your Google account, you'll see over in the right-hand side here where I'm logged in, you may have to just sign into your Google account, and then you go to calendar.google.com, and you'll see your main calendar interface. So the main interface consists of this left-hand sidebar that you can collapse by clicking the main menu button here in the upper left-hand corner. Then a preview of the current active month that you see over here. So if I hit these arrows in the upper left-hand corner, I can navigate to future or previous months. And then the little mini calendar over here will reflect that as well. Then below that, we're going to see our calendars. So as you can see here, I hit the drop-down menu. I have a number of calendars here that I can select or deselect. As you can see, if I check them or select them, all of my events for that calendar show up on whatever view I'm in here on Google Calendar. There are different types of views in which you can view your calendar. All of those are in the upper right-hand corner. Currently, I'm looking at the month view. The different views are day. If we go to day, it's going to show the current day or a selected day if you select a future or previous date. Then the next one is the week view, which shows you from Sunday to Saturday. This is probably where I live most of the time. Or the next one, which is the 4 days view. This will show you a smaller amount of time from say, whatever current day it is to 3 or 4 days in advance. And then you have the schedule view, which basically shows you everything that's coming up in the next few days. And then lastly, we have the year view. If you need to see what day something's on, say Christmas of this year, you can look at it for the year view. We're going to go back to month view. As with anything in Google Calendar, there are hotkeys. So if I want to change from month to day view, I'll go to my keyboard, click the D key here, and you can see I can change that to be day view. And then if I tap M, it'll make it go back to month view as well. The search function, which is the magnifying glass up here in the right-hand corner, if we click on that, it's going to bring up just a generic search bar. And then if we type in a keyword, let's say the word mastermind, hit search, it'll show you any event that has that word in it. And let's say it's a name of someone, let's say Jones, it'll show you events with people that are related to that name or keyword that you typed in. The next section is going to be all about creating and managing events. The first thing you can do to create an event is go or navigate to that day, let's say tomorrow, and then just double click. It will bring up the event tab as you see here, where I can add all of the details for a specific event. So go ahead and give the event a name, as you see here, and then right below that, it will give you the option to make that event all day. So if I hit the checkbox here, it's going to show up as an all-day event. And then if I uncheck this, it will give me the ability to select a specific time. So let's say this is a doctor's appointment, and it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on that day. And you can even click on time zone if it's going to be a separate time zone from your normal calendar. Under the event details, you have the option to select the drop-down menu here and select whether or not there needs to be a Google Meeting or Zoom, which is an add-on link. And then you have add location, where you can add a physical location, or if you do a Zoom or a Google Meet, it'll put that link here as well. And then whether or not you want a notification. So you can get a notification or an email, and you can decide how early or before the event you want to get the notifications. You can do minutes, hours, days, or weeks, depending on when you want to do that. You can also add multiple notifications by just clicking the Add Notification button here, and then to remove those, just click the X to the right of those. The next thing is going to be the calendar. So as you can see here, I have a multitude of calendars. You may only have one, which is your main Google Calendar. I'll show you how to add new calendars shortly, but if you do have multiple calendars, you select this drop-down menu, select the calendar that it's going to be on, and then it will be color-coded for for that specific calendar. So the event calendar color is going to be whatever color that calendar is unless you change it here in the event details page. The next option is this drop-down menu that says busy. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you want this to mark it as you're busy, as if you cannot schedule anything over this, then you select busy. If you want yourself to be free and still allow things to be booked on top of this, you select free. Now, I will be honest, normally you would just leave this to busy, and then default visibility is going to be either public, private, and for me, it's public because I've shared my calendar. Then the description box gives you the ability to add a description for your event, even attach files from your drive. As with anything, you can, format, make the text look good, add links, different things of that nature. Once you're done with your event, you've added all the description, the title, you've selected the time frame, you click save. When you do, if I zoom in here to the day, which is tomorrow, the 26th, you can see here that event is. And then if I choose it over to day view and then go over to tomorrow, here the event is. And this is what it looks like. Now, the beauty of Google Calendar is that I can go into day view. And if the doctor calls and says we're running a little behind, we need to postpone the appointment for a couple of hours, you can click and hold this event like so and just drag it anywhere on the timeline here of that day, even moving it from day to another day in the month view. So if I go back to month view here, I can take that event and say, oh, they rescheduled for next week, same time. I can click and hold and drag that event from day to day. Now let's talk about recurring events. If we know we're going to have this appointment every 2 weeks, we can double click the event to go back into our event here, and you can see as long as it's not an all-day event on the calendar, we can select this drop down here that says do not repeat or does not repeat. We want this to be every other week. Now, how do we do that? So first, we can make something a daily event. We can do it weekly every Thursday. We can do it monthly on the fourth Thursday of every month. These are just ones that they have as far as templates. But if we wanted to customize this to be every other week, we would go to custom right here. And then we want to repeat this every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks on Thursday, and then ending, let's say it's a basketball season for your kids. You may want to end the practices after the last one, but for this one, we'll say never, and then go to done, and then go to save. And as you can see, every other Thursday, like here in April, there's the event, it shows up. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how to invite other people to events. So double click back into that event. Right over on the right-hand side, you have the ability to add guests. Under the add guest box here, you type their email address. And as you can see here, I've added 2 guests. Now, what will happen is when I click save, it will ask me or prompt me and say, do you want to edit this recurring event? And so, yes, if you've made an edit to this event, you want to edit every event thereafter. And then when I hit OK, it's going to say, would you like to send invitation emails to the guests that you've added? Always say send, unless for some reason you don't want to send, but you want to notify the guests that they've been invited to this event on Google Calendar. So then you'll click send just like so. And then that person or people will get a notification that they've been invited to that event from your Google Calendar. That's everything you need to know about adding and managing events. Now let's talk about multiple calendars and color coding. So as you can see here, I have a number of calendars. I have my main calendar, my family calendar, I have birthdays, I have my church calendar. Now we can add different calendars if we want a number of ways. The first thing would be creating a new calendar. So right here next to other calendars, we can click this addition symbol to create a new calendar. Now we can subscribe to, let's say you have a school that sends out a Google Calendar. We can subscribe to those here. We can also browse public calendars from this link here. And then if you have a URL, then you can do that from this option here. But we want to create a new calendar. We give the calendar a name, so we'll say tutorial, and then give a description of what that calendar is about. So whatever you want the calendar to be about, you put that here, and then whatever time zone, select the drop down and select the applicable time zone. Then go to create calendar, like so. Then when you do that, it will begin to process. Go back to our Google Calendar as you see here and refresh the page. Now, here is our tutorial calendar. In order to give this a color, you can select the 3 vertical dots here and select from a number of colors they have provided for you here, or go to the Add Custom Color and go crazy and decide whatever color you want to add here. So now that we've created that calendar, I'm going to just select the one we created. And now when we create events, so if I double click on a day like so, and I go to the drop down menu here, that new calendar is going to be available for me to select from any event type within Google Calendar with the same color coding that we set up, unless we change it here to be specific for a different event. As I mentioned earlier, you can always go to other calendars, hit the addition symbol, and go to browse calendars of interest. And you can see here that there are sports calendars. As you can see here, there are Major League Baseball calendars. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, so I can select this one here. And if I wanted to, I could view what that looked like. And now I can see the upcoming Braves games are going to be right here. This is pretty cool. I actually like this, to be honest with you, to be able to see public calendars. As with anything, when I get back to my main calendar, I can deselect the Braves calendar here, and it doesn't muddy up my normal calendar. And then if I wanted to, I can select the X here next to any of these calendars that I'm subscribed to. So I can hit X just like so. It says, are you sure you want to remove that calendar? Go to remove calendar, and you are good to go. The next thing I want to show you is Google Tasks integration. If we go here on the right-hand sidebar, you'll see a little circle with a check mark. If we click on that, that will bring up our Google Tasks sidebar here. We can even click the pop-out button here to open this up full screen to see the full Google Tasks interface. At the very top, you'll see the drop-down menu for your different list within Google Tasks. And if you want to, you can just click on Add Task, give it a name. So say task right here, and we want this to be due today, and then we are good to go. And if we wanted to, we could go over here and select our tasks calendar under my calendars. And as you can see, any task that I have on this specific day, and then you can see if I go to day view, you can see any tasks at the very top. So if I add multiple tasks, and so you say task 2, and then that's going to be due today. So if we add that to due today, all of our tasks are going to stack up on top of that day. But if we deselect task from the left-hand sidebar, we will no longer see it. Now let's talk about sharing and permissions for specific calendars. Let's say for that calendar that I just created, I want to share that with my family. What I would do is I would select these 3 vertical dots, go to Settings and Sharing, and it'll bring up my calendar settings. So right here where it says Shared With, I can click this button that says Add People and Groups to this calendar. So I can go to Add People and Groups, and then I can search for my wife, and then I can go ahead and click Send, and this will share everything and give her the ability, if when I add her to this, I can go right here and say she can make changes and manage sharing. So if I say she can make changes, she can actually add to the calendar. But if you make it just where they can view it or see all event details, then all they can do is view the calendar. All of that is done right here underneath the Shared With option here. Underneath Access Permissions for Events, you can make it available to public, get a shareable link to share it out to the public to where they can just see the events like the sports calendar that I just showed you. And then a couple last things underneath the calendar settings is you can set it to auto accept invitations here. You can receive notifications for events, and then people who are subscribed can receive notifications for other types of things within the calendar. All of these things are very in-depth, and you can do things as deep as embed code into a website, but these are all things that as you progress, if you need those, it'll be a case-by-case basis. Now let's talk about appointment schedules and booking pages. Over in the left-hand sidebar, you'll see a button here that says Create. You can also do events and tasks here as well, but if we go to the bottom option that says Appointment Schedule and click into that, it will allow us to do what a lot of paid tools do already, which is set up an appointment schedule. So this will be a specific thing when you send this link out, and it will show up under a certain time frame. So let's just say you do coaching. If we have coaching here, we want the appointment duration to be an hour, and then our availability is going to be below. So you can choose from Sunday to Saturday, so you're not available on the weekend, but from Monday to Friday, you're available from 9 to 5. You can change that time frame by just clicking in here and changing that to be a specific time frame. And you can see this visibly here on the current week that shows up. If you want to, you can go right here and say that you're unavailable all day on Monday. So clicking that shows that you're unavailable. But again, you can set your availability underneath this option here. Scheduling window means from within 60 days of today. So 60 days in advance to 4 hours before. Now you can change this by clicking that drop down menu and say that you only want people to be able to schedule, time with you from a specific time. So for me, I would certainly change this one. So I would go ahead and select this, and I would go ahead and say 24 hours beforehand. That way I have a little bit of notice, right? And then as far as change a date's availability, if I click on this, and I already have my weekly availability set up, but I know I'm going on vacation, I can go to adjusted availability and say on the first here, I want it to be a little bit different. I go ahead and say I'm not available at all that day. You can give some buffer time between appointment slots. If you know people are booking a lot of times on a specific day, say at least give me 30 minutes between the time there. And then maximum bookings per day, you can say, hey, I only want to do, let's say 4 coaching calls per day. When that gets hit, no more. And then calendars, if we select the drop-down menu here, you select which calendar these bookings are going to go on. So when people schedule a time with you, you can say, okay, this is going to go on whatever calendar. We'll select the calendar that we just created, and then you're good to go. If we click on next, like you see here, you can then add a booking page photo and a name. So I can say my name and photo, and then you can add a conferencing software, whether that be Google Meet, in person, or say it's something that's specified later like Zoom or whatever it may be, and you can put the links in there. Then you'll have a description, and then a booking form will actually add, criteria for them to add when they're booking. So a first, last, name, email address, you can go to add item and add a phone number and different things that you maybe, want to require them as they're booking something with you. And then under booking confirmations and reminders, you can say, okay, I want an email reminder 1 day before. And then that's just reminding you when people book. And then when you click save, it's going to save your availability, create those booking pages for you, give you a link that you can send out. And now you have a free tool to have people book time slots with you from within Google Calendar. I'm going to go ahead and go back now just to get out of this, and we'll discard all of those changes. The last section is going to be talking about the Gemini AI features. If you are using Google Chrome, which I am here, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner where there's a little button that says Ask Gemini. So Gemini is their AI tool. What I can do is I can type something like this where it says, what's on my calendar this week? And then hit enter. And then I'm sharing my calendar. As you can see here, it's already connected to my Google Calendar. And then it's going to show me, here's the events that I have for that specific time frame that I asked it about. Then you can also type in things like this, schedule lunch with Nick on Friday at noon, and then hit enter. And then it will automatically take control of your calendar, add an event to your Google Calendar of this week on Friday. As you can see right here, here's the event. Then now I just click add event. And now as you can see right here on Friday, there is an event, lunch with Nick. I think I might have mentioned this earlier, but if you want to delete an event, you just right click on that event and then hit the delete button like so. If it's a recurring event, you'll just right click that event and then go to remove. And then it says, are you wanting to remove just this specific event on this day or all events in the future? Select all events, click OK, and all of the future events will be removed. Now I want to show you what the mobile Google Calendar app looks like. So here I am on my iPhone, and I normally like to view it if I hit the sidebar, tap the 3 lines in the upper left-hand corner. I like to view either my weekly or daily schedule, normally daily, so I'll click on daily. And as you can see, this is my daily schedule. And the mobile app is very similar to the desktop app to where you can just browse and tap through your different days and weeks, but you'll see an addition symbol on that day that I can tap on there and then go to new event, just like so. Then the same event description page come available to me here. I can add a title for that event. I can make that event all day, or I can give it a specific time frame. Then I can choose the different calendars right here where it shows me the different calendars that I can swipe through from left to right. Then I can tap into add guest to add guest for this event. And then everything else that is normal for an event on the desktop will be done here. So we can add that by tapping save in the upper right-hand corner. And then on the sidebar, if we flare it out once more, we can see all of our different calendars here. And then if I wanted to, I could always change my view to a 3-day view to see a little more of a zoomed out view. Another thing you can do on mobile is to add widgets on iOS. As you can see, here's a calendar widget. If you tap and hold anywhere on your iPhone screen, go to Edit and then go to Add Widget. Then just go to Search Widgets and search for Google Calendar. Then it will give you the options of the different widgets that you can add. You have a smaller widget, a larger one, and then an even bigger widget where you can see your month view. All of these are great snapshots of what's coming up with just tasks and events as well. And that's it. Now you know everything you need to know to master Google Calendar and make sure that you never miss an event again. If this was helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.